The NBA is filled with talented players who have made a mark on the basketball world with their skills and achievements. However, as they leave the limelight of the NBA, some players undergo significant visual changes to the point where the next time you see them, you don't even recognize who they are, or you can't believe this is how they look. Join me as we look at 9 former NBA players who look completely unrecognizable today. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more NBA videos, and follow me on Twitter. Now let's get to the video. Spud Webb. The 5'6" guard drafted in the 4th round of the 1985 NBA draft, 4 years before the draft became 2 rounds that we know today. Now, he is mostly known for winning the 1986 dunk contest over the human highlight film Dominique Wilkins, as he had a ridiculous 46-inch vertical. Now, for context, that is almost 4 feet, which is over half his original height. That's not with a running start. That's no running start, just jumping straight up, standing still. That's insane to be able to jump almost 4 feet. But that Spud Webb that we knew all those years ago is long gone, and he's picked up a few pounds since 1987. And he is enjoying his life as president of basketball operations for the G League Texas Legends. How different does he look? Let me know in the comments section. Next up, Bryant Reeves, known as Big Country, is the first ever draft choice for the Grizzlies in franchise history, as he was selected 6th overall in the 1995 NBA draft. He played 6 seasons with the Vancouver Grizzlies, averaging 16 points per game. During his tenure, though, weight problems and injuries began to take a toll on Big Country. His numbers fell, his field goal percentage dropped drastically. Eventually, after the Grizzlies moved to Memphis, Tennessee in 2001, his career was basically over, and on January 29, 2002, Reeves had announced his retirement due to chronic back pain caused by a degenerative disc. Since retirement, Reeves has since moved to Oklahoma and is now a cattle farmer living on a ranch with his family. Would you recognize Reeves if you seen him today? I don't think I would. Next up, Steve Francis, the franchise, known for his flashy moves and his ability to get buckets at will. He made a name for himself during his time with the Houston Rockets from 1999 to 2004. He was the co-rookie of the year with Elton Brand and finished runner-up to Vince Carter in the iconic 2000 slam dunk contest. He averaged 21 points per game for most of his tenure with the Rockets, while also making the All-Star team 3 years in a row. And after a season with rookie sensation Yao Ming, he was traded to the Orlando Magic in a trade that included NBA legend Tracy McGrady. He would play 2 seasons with the Magic, a season with the Knicks. He would eventually end up back on the Rockets, but injuries and extra weight that he put on would bring his career to a close, as he was waived by the Memphis Grizzlies in 2008. And after he left professional basketball in 2010, his stepfather committed suicide and he began drinking heavily and would end up being arrested for a few minor incidents. Francis suffers from an inner ear disorder known as Meniere's disease that causes excessive amounts of fluid buildup in the ear, which can cause migraines, nausea, and can affect your balance, which he was diagnosed back in 2002. So I could only imagine what that's like. I've had an earache before, I've had an ear infection. It's very uncomfortable. I could imagine what he was going through and playing basketball. But would you recognize him today if you saw him? I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would. Let me know in the comment section if you would. Next up, Kurt Rambis. Now, Kurt Rambis is not a guy most people remember for scoring. He's known as a fan favorite among Laker fans as the underachieving underdog and ultimate team player. He made his mark on the defensive end, grabbing rebounds, taking charges, diving for loose balls, doing the dirty work, which is a thing in the past in today's NBA, by the way. And he had a very unique look about him. He usually wore a thick mustache with black goggle-like glasses and scruffy brown hair. As a guy playing for the Showtime Lakers who were flashy, he stuck out like a sore thumb, but his toughness, effort, and energy added a different element to the flashy, flamboyant Lakers, as he helped them win 4 championships during the 1980s. He retired in 1994, and as of 2024, he is a senior advisor for those Los Angeles Lakers. The scruffy, hard-nosed, blue-collar player that we knew back then is now sporting a corporate suit and tie. It looks good on him. Next up, Shawn Kemp, the Rain Man, one part of the original Lob City, known for his posterizing dunks with his freakishly gifted athletic talent, standing 6 feet 10 inches, weighing a solid 230 pounds. He was a physical specimen, to say the least. He's a 6-time All-Star, and although his professional career began in 1987 and ended in 2003, the peak of his career was during the 1995-96 season, where he and that Lob City teammate, NBA legend Gary Payton, led the Supersonics to a franchise record 64 wins and a berth in the NBA Finals. Although they would lose to the Jordan-led Chicago Bulls, who were coming off of then NBA record 72 wins in a regular season in 6 games, Kemp would average 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. He finished a very close second in the NBA Finals MVP voting, almost becoming the second player in NBA history to win Finals MVP, despite being the team that lost. He would play one more season with the Supersonics before being traded to the Cavaliers. And during the lockout season in 1999 is where the physical athletic freak we knew was gone. He showed up to camp weighing a whopping 315 pounds. In a later interview, then general manager for the Cavaliers at the time, Wayne Embry, said Shawn told him he didn't think they were coming back for the season. In Shawn Kemp's defense, though, the lockout lasted from July 1998 to January 20 of 1999, although players voted on January 6 to end the lockout. Then Commissioner, David Stern, had threatened to cancel the season if there was no agreement met by January 7th. But even still, to put on massive amounts of weight when you're a professional basketball player that relies on athleticism is somebody who didn't care about his craft any longer. He would eventually be traded to the Trailblazers, waived and signed with the Magic in 2002. He tried to make a comeback in 2005, but it never came to be. As of 2020, he is part of a group that opened a cannabis dispensary in Seattle. And let's just say he's eating good in the neighborhood these days. Next up, Vlade Divac. Vlade Daddy and we likes to party. Known for flopping and manipulating the referees into calling fouls. Now I see where today's NBA players get it from. Former NBA vet PJ Brown has even gone on the record calling Divac the greatest flopper of all time. Hard to disagree with. And while flopping is one thing he's known for, the other, unfortunately as well, is being traded for the draft rights to Kobe Bryant. And while Divac, standing 7'1", always had that scruffy look where I'm sure he wouldn't be in anybody's fashion magazine, the look worked for him. He enjoyed most of his playing success during 2001, where he became an all-star for the Sacramento Kings and ultimately lost to the Lakers in a controversial series. Back problems would derail his career and he would eventually retire in 2005. As of December 2023, he's an ambassador for the Sacramento Kings. I would say he doesn't look much different than he did all those years ago. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Ben Wallace, the 4-time All-Star and 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, known obviously for his defense and his toughness. Standing 6'9", looking like he had been chiseled out of marble stone. Let's not forget about the afro that he had that added a certain toughness to him, making him look way more intimidating. And although he played from 1996 to 2012, his time with the Pistons were his most dominant years, capping it off by winning the NBA championship in 2004. He was also on the cover of the popular 2K series, as he was the cover athlete of 2K5, which I had, by the way. He would eventually get traded to the Bulls and play 2 seasons with Chicago before being traded to the Cavaliers, playing 1 season, and then he would sign with the Pistons and play out the last 3 seasons of his career, and ultimately retiring in 2012. In 2022, he launched his line of cannabis products called Undrafted. And although his hair is gray, the mean mug is still there. He even looks like he still works out on the regular. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Delante West. While Delante West did play 3 seasons with the Celtics, he made a name for himself when he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. From 2007 to 2010, and while he was never a physical specimen like Ben Wallace or Shawn Kemp, he sported kind of a clean cookie cutter face with brown hair and brown facial hair with a few tattoos. Nothing too crazy, but it worked for him. But after being waived by the Mavs in 2011, he would play overseas for the next 4 years, and as things were starting to go bad for him already during the lockout season in 2011, he was working at Home Depot. In 2016, a photo was taken of him in Houston as he was barefoot wearing a hospital gown. There was speculation as to if West was homeless. In 2020, more photos circulated around the internet where West was begging at an intersection in Dallas, Texas. Mavs owner Mark Cuban picked him up from a gas station, paid for West to go to rehab as he was on drugs and looked completely unrecognizable from the NBA pro that played for the Cavs, Mavs, and Celtics all those years ago. In 2022, he was arrested for trying to get into a car that didn't belong to him. I hope he gets the help he needs. Next up, Adam Morrison. One of my favorite players coming out of college at the time. He was the 3rd overall pick in the 2006 NBA draft, selected by the Charlotte Bobcats. Sporting the long hair and the signature mustache, he played 3 seasons with the Bobcats, but his tenure was short-lived by an ACL tear that caused him to miss the entire 2007 season. And by 2009, he was traded to the Lakers, where he would win 2 NBA championships, although he didn't play much. He was released after the 2010 season. He would play overseas for 2 more seasons before retiring. These days, he's broadcasting, raising his children, and long gone is the long hair and mustache. He is now rocking his short hair and clean face. I think it works for him. I think it works for him. Now, if you want to know what NBA players are banned forever, just click right here.